All right. And we're live.
Yay! Did that beeping finally stop?
Yes, yeah. Somebody's like security, either backing up or some security on their office was going off. So luckily we didn't hear that. And yes, so this week we are streaming to Instagram, but I believe it is just going to be the chat, just the center of the screen.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if we can do better eventually on that. But they'll be able to hear the audio and then read your comments. So keep them clean, nice folks. Stuff. Nice. So what have you been up to?
Not a lot, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
The biggest thing is I keep waffling back and forth on how to base these 6mm miniatures.
Oh.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Surprising no one.
Are you documenting that on Instagram?
I am. Yeah, that's what I was typing right now. Right.
Oh, nice.
So I think what happened is I figured out because I'm trying to miniaturize Lion Rampant 2nd edition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Bacchus sells their miniatures in like strips of 4,
right,
or strips of 3 if they're cavalry because they're a little bit bigger, right? So I figured out, okay, do I want to replicate the 12 models in a small thing, meaning like 3 strips,
mm-hmm.
or do I just want to say like this is 6mm? I can put twice as many
mm-hmm.
on the base, right? Because I'm not going to take them off to track casualties.
Right.
So I don't know. Anyway, I had gone through so many versions where when I finally pulled the trigger and placed the order prior to the slight price range
mm-hmm.
or raise, I think I had switched basing schemes because like the stuff that arrived, I'm like looking at like the light infantry and like I'm like I've got like twice as many as I need, right?
Right.
Then I've been reading like Triumph rules and other ones, and I'm just like, okay, like is there a way I can do double duty with these
mm-hmm.
miniatures, right? But that means adjusting the unit depth because like oftentimes in like ancient war games, the thing that matters most is what they call frontage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like how much of the enemy you contact or how wide the base is, and the depth often doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like whatever it's appropriate. For Triumph, it matters, right? Because you can't like moving around your own units is kind of important.
Mm-hmm.
So do I go with one base size and just play Lion Rampant, or do I adhere to like the base depths, meaning that they can do double duty and all that stuff? So I'm just like, anyway, and people are like, oh God, make a decision. And I'm like, yes, I wish I could, right? So yeah. So that's what I've been agonizing with. I think it's mostly just kind of like setting them up and deciding what looks good and what I have enough miniatures for, right?
Nice.
But anyway, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I was listening to a discussion about the wargaming industry,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's mostly based on like
Games Workshop.
firsthand. We have a lot of Games Workshop, but a lot of firsthand evidence from Adepticon, like who's displaying big. Right. And the interesting thing is they said that Catalyst looks like they're the number 2 because
really? BattleTech.
Yeah, with the success of BattleTech, it looks like they're right behind Games Workshop. So a couple interesting things that they said that I was like, yeah, that sucks. And I think that this explains a lot of 5e success as well, is when people want to get into a war game and when someone wants to sell you a war game, like at your local game store that's not a Games Workshop, that's not a Warhammer, the criteria that a lot of players are thinking about is what's the biggest, what's the most popular, because then there'll be the most players and it'll last so long, it's not going away.
I can't argue with that argument,
and
right?
that's really depressing though, because then that just means that there isn't any, there isn't ever going to be any like number 2, like like a close second.
Right.
It's there. Someone is just going to dominate. They're going to suck up all the players, and it seems like Games Workshop knows that, and that's why they price things so crazy. Because even if you wanted to get into another game, you can't afford it. You don't have the time. You don't have the hobby time. You don't have the hobby dollars. Yeah. So they've really cornered the market. And another thing that they talked about that was kind of depressing is that, and I think that's. Because both of them are designers as well and have done miniatures agnostic games, war games, and the
you're talking the hosts.
Yes, the hosts, the hosts in the discussion. They're both designers, and the interesting thing that both of them said is when they say you can use any miniatures, people message them and say, yeah, but what are the real what miniatures do you really want to see? Is what are the real miniatures? So people want to be told what to do. Like a lot of players and gamers. So the creativity I think is lacking in wargaming as opposed to a lot of, well, I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's about the same because of 5e. But it seems like there's a lack of creativity and people wanting to do things themselves, because there's still people with Games Workshop that want to kit bash, and that's not supported really anymore. And it's because of all the monopose and like things that are it's ridiculous to kind of like rework some of these miniatures. So people want to be told what to do, and I think more in board games and war games, people want to be told how to play. What's the best strategy? What's the best list I can take? What's the best technique? They want to be told, how do I win this game? How do I do this? And I guess it's the thing with competitive.
Yeah, sure.
That is completely lacking in tabletop, but still you have that in 5e. Oh, how do I play a rogue? How do I play a fighter? Tell me the build. Give me the specs. I want to build this,
Well,
and that's, yeah.
Maybe
depressing.
it's coming from a different place, and where, okay, there are some people who try to win tabletop role-playing games, which, right, you're kind of not supposed to.
Right.
But I think, at least for 5e, or I won't slam 5e, in games, in tabletop role-playing games where you build a character and you pick from all these different options, if the game provides options that are suboptimal, right, or less useful in certain situations, or just outright bad based on certain other combinations, then I think people can be forgiven for saying, what's the correct build for this, right? What am I able to spend my creation points on that don't end up being waste of character resources, right? So I think that could be, that's definitely one reason that's, I guess, nicer than people trying to win.
Yeah, right.
I've recently joined a bunch of Facebook groups, and that's the only place I hang out on Facebook, for all these like ancient wargaming things. And I don't think it's a lack of creativity, but I do see but I have seen people asking things like, how are you basing your miniatures? And in that case, I don't think it's a lack of creativity. It's just, what's the standard everybody's using so that I can play as well, right? Because for like ancients and other stuff, like that frontage, as long as they're all based with the same frontage, you can have different sizes of models or whatever. So then I think it's kind of like you've all figured this out. I'm the newcomer.
Right. Share
the knowledge, right? Which is maybe a softer way to put it.
Yeah. That makes sense. But it just that was pretty depressing, though, because it does mean that there's going to be a lot of small players, and they're just going to fall off as far as companies. I mean, not players, but a lot of small companies, they're going to fall off because they're just not seeing the activity. And it's just sad, because that lead has just snowballed by both Wizards of the Coast and Games Workshop. They're just going to remain on top, and because they're publicly traded companies, they're not going to be serving players. They're only going to be serving shareholders. So it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. The rules are going to suck, and
the way it's going to get better is people just accepting, or you got to make the choice, right? I think you have to make sure. Either you're going to continue to play GW and D&D because it gives you the largest pool of opponents or players, right? And that's just something you got to do. Or you have to say, maybe there's not going to be as many people, but I'm going to play this other game.
Right.
And maybe try and get other people in it, which is going to be an uphill battle because, as you said, certain things are priced, I think intentionally so that they become the largest dollar sink, forcing you to choose between them and something else. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so that was... not wonderful to listen to. It's like, that does suck. But it's still, though, if you've got a good group, or you've got a group of people that say, we're going to play 3rd edition of whatever game, and we're never going to change, and this group likes that, we're going to, because it's not actively being developed anymore, we're going to house rule everything that we don't like, or everything we want to
Well, then you're not playing D&D.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So then, that sort of thing will always exist. But yeah, it's just... that money and that creativity. And the other interesting thing that they talked about was licensing, the popularity of licensing. And I thought that was a really interesting point where it says, where they said, basically licenses let you buy an audience, but it also takes away from the money that you could give to designers, artists, production values of things, because you constantly have to pay that license. So that's money that you don't have. So and relying on that too much, because a license is finite. It encompasses something, a comic book series, or a movie, or something, and it has a limit. And the example they gave is X-Wing. Basically,
Okay,
X-Wing got to the end, and they're just like, shit, there's no more. Okay, let's start again and paint things different colors and see if we can get people following some sequel trilogy stuff. But yeah, it has a limitation, so it's not going to be good forever. So companies that are doing that, there is a limit to it, and like we've seen, it can just go away. Like the license can just go can just go away, and then you're screwed with everything that you've developed. You'll never have like a finished game because it just kind of suddenly stops. So yeah, nothing too happy in that discussion. I was like, yeah, that doesn't make me excited about anything. And it was specifically focused on war games. So yeah, that's. But I think that a lot of that thinking applies to a lot of tabletop.
I think it does.
Industry. Oy. But what are we talking about this week? So let me take a quick look in the chat. So
Rage quitting.
Yeah,
playing Uno.
Yeah, there you go. So good to see everybody in the chat. Yeah, sorry about that false start there. I was trying to start Instagram. Yeah, so Instagram needs to be started before you start your software, or you need to copy the key in, because I guess it generates one every time, and not good. But hey, Matt and Carolina and Dude, good to see everybody in the chat. And Orcus, nice. Orcus didn't fall for that false start.
Neither did I.
Nice, but yeah, I think everything's all up and running. And let us know about the sound and everything. We're still adjusting things, so I'm not going to rely too much on completely natural light, because that didn't look great.
Oh, right. Okay, fine.
So we're going to mix and match and see what we get. I think it's going to have to be the fluorescence and stuff again, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Each week will look a little different. The color temperature.
It's almost as like time will pass.
Yes, right. Yes, we will age. And that's true. Between each week, we will age considerably.
Considerably? What are you talking about?
All right. So let's get started for this week. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Darkness at the Brink of Ohio. One more Multiverse goes away. Okay. Greyhawk 2024. And a very confusing Solomon Kane RPG.
Okay.
And I'm spelling it wrong. Solomon Kane is all O's, isn't it?
Solomon.
So, but before we get started, this is just for the actual play group that I work with. So we got a comment, and I couldn't resist, because I want to focus on positive things. And very often with platforms like YouTube and a lot of social media, you don't focus on the positive things. You're like, oh, that was nice, and you pass over, and you're like, this motherfucker told me that, so you focus on
there
somebody
goes our
that's...
PG rating.
Right. Sorry.
Sorry, we get one, don't we?
We get one. It's in the first something minutes. But that's right. But when I edit this, I'm going to have to quack that out. But anyhow, so on YouTube, we had a nice message about the live streams. Nice. So from Calarian on YouTube. So Clarion says, Jeremy mentioned in the latest episode of The Weekly that someone had left a comment that really liked the Dune actual plays, and he sounded surprised. It made me think I should leave a comment, because I've been watching for a while now, and I've really enjoyed them as well. So I first found this channel when Blade Runner came out, and I was looking for actual plays of Electric Dreams, hoping to learn both the system and see how various GMs portrayed the world. There were many Electric Dreams actual plays that popped up all around at the same time, but this one quickly became my favorite, and I was happy when it returned with Fiery Angels as well. I was going to wait for the third case file after that finished, but I decided to give your Dune actual play a try as well. I'm glad I did. Jeremy is such a good GM. You do a great job with world building and your descriptions and guiding the story along. I'm not sure how much of the adventures of House Abacoster is taken from published material or how much is actual creation, but the twists and turns of the story has taken are really great. Matt, Will, and Terry are your great players. I'm enjoying the interplay between your characters. Really great chemistry here. All three are really different people, and you do a wonderful job showcasing their personalities and bringing them to life. Thanks to all four of you for some really fun entertainment.
You wrote that yourself, didn't you?
Okay, I did. It was AI, and I said, please, confidence boost. I'm having trouble this week. I can't bring myself to run this game. No, thank you so much. It was great to get and to take the time to write that length of comment. Thank you so much. It's great to hear, and it really, because just streaming the actual plays, it's a little rough. People have to take a break. The doorbells ring and stuff, and so it's not as polished as the things we're putting out with like Blade Runner.
Right.
But that takes so much production time that the game is almost forgotten, and I definitely forget what happened in the game while I'm editing it. I'm like, oh, that's right. It surprises me, but it's really good to hear that, and it's nice that this is why we're doing this. So it's contributing to a community. It's like it's sharing our experience of the game and just the love of doing this, and people being inspired by it. I think that's what I was originally attracted to by the original Idle Red Hands, as it was inspiration. You guys, it was a more academic approach to topics in tabletop role play, but it was inspiration, and it could work for writing fiction almost the way that you would approach breaking down different character types or historical
Take
figures.
a lot of research and editing. Yeah.
Yes. So I like that. So inspiration is the main purpose, is just to support what people are doing and see examples, because I think how we do these actual plays is not like anybody else's, because it can't be. That's the only way we know how to do it. That's how we play the games. So to have as many of those examples online, so people don't think, oh, we got to do the critical role thing. I don't think I want to do that. To really see the variety and how people approach, and even like I think with Blade Runner and Dune, these are very established settings that people have a lot of opinions, and they have timelines and almanacs and things about.
You're doing it wrong.
But you can still play in those worlds and make use of that source material. And in one of our players is, for both John Carter and Dune, was completely ignorant of the source material. No movies, no books, anything, and can still function. Like, we can still world build and things make sense, and the character's decisions are based on the character acting in that world, with the morality and how things work just as a character. And I think that's so wonderful that so that's good proof that you don't have to be obsessed with a world to play in it. You can
those clicks on
as a player, you can navigate your way just like you do in life. You don't completely know the backstory of everything that you're coming into contact with. So I think that's really fun, and I'm glad that we have some positive feedback. And I'm eating up so much time, but thank you so much for the comment.
Okay, not to eat up more time, but like you said, I think people tend to only comment if they absolutely hate or absolutely love something. But if you like something someone's doing, then please take a couple minutes and just, I hate writing comments, right? But even just like, really love your stuff, right? A short comment like that can really like brighten someone's day, especially like a creator, because like old Idle Red Hands, like sometimes like, why the fuck am I doing this? Right? Especially with our time zone, right? So just every once in a while get into the, hey, really enjoyed that. It's like, okay, that's kind of why I keep doing this, right? So,
yeah, and it's nice. I mean, even a small audience of people that are really enjoying it is wonderful. You don't need the thousands of people with people in there like just causing trouble and like playing around just because it's a place to hang out. I like people that are actually enjoying the content and following along with it. So it's so rewarding, and keeps us definitely motivated. So thank you to everyone that's watching, and don't feel free to lurk, and don't feel like you have to get in touch. But if you if you are really appreciating it, let us know, and let us know other ways you'd like to listen to it, because I think YouTube is kind of weird, because you can listen to just the audio, or you can be watching it while it's going on. There's so many devices that it's available on. So let us know how to make it more accessible. But our first topic is Darkness at the Brink of Ohio. Okay. So this was interesting. So this is Banana Chan, a designer that has worked on a lot of stuff, like pretty well known. Even did some Ravenloft, I think, with Wizards of the Coast. So what is this? It's very interesting. Little Cthulhu-y, a solo tabletop role-playing game where you follow the transformation of a late-night radio DJ into something horrific and otherworldly.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so this is a game in a curry. Launched this on Kickstarter. It's going to be a physical book and a PDF, and they did some funny kind of support materials because of the subject matter. So it's a journaling RPG. You're listening to a late-night DJ based out of Akron, Ohio, and it's got a soundtrack. So you play one of three characters: a clinical lab tech, a gas station attendant, or a security guard, people that would have a night shift. And you listen to horrific events on 106.6 The Brink. So a soundtrack has been released for free on YouTube that you can listen to while you're playing. It has the tracks separated, and one of the tracks is a cursed track that kind of
Interesting.
begins this unknown track kind of begins this this breakdown. So Banana Chan is the designer. She is Cantonese Canadian, but said that she did spend some time in Ohio. Okay. So I feel very sorry for her having
Maybe that's why I chose
having
Ohio,
to do
right?
that. And you have nothing but to wish for the elder gods to return when you spend too much time in Ohio. But but Akron is kind of funny in kind of rock history in America. It's home of the Pretenders, Devo, the Black Keys. Like, there's a lot of rock that came out of Ohio, because what the hell else do you have to do besides buy a used guitar? And they also have Blossom Music Center, which is this insanely nice outdoor music venue that I went to like every summer as a kid and saw just about everything. But so that's the reason, that the theming and the location. So a PDF of the game is $15. Physical copy is accident.
At least it didn't crash. Right.
Yes, is $30 for the physical pledge. But they're also doing T-shirts, a plexi disc of the cursed song, some other supporting materials that have the theme of the locations within the game, the subject matter within the game. So you're playing the listeners, and you're documenting your work in a journal. So the journal is asking you questions. Basically, you're answering questions as things evolve. So DJ Mike undergoes transformation into something beyond this realm. So this game uses the soundtrack to listen to as you answer the prompts through journaling. So the major themes are parasocial relationships and hypervisibility within a small fan base. Okay. Content warnings include natural horror, body horror, psychological horror, parasocial relationships, listening to someone's boundaries before being pushed via sexual harassment or the forms of harassment, listening to someone transform into something other than human, and squelching sounds reminiscent of bugs. So the book is going to be between 100 and 125 pages. The cover is by Michael Croteau. And you have the option for the 3 different players. So some of the inspirations were Altered States, In the Mouth of Madness, Color Out of Space, Splinter, and The Empty Man. So some interesting body horror and kind of and Lovecraft. Yeah, some Lovecraft in there. So and I think because it's a solo journaling, maybe in how they're presenting it, they don't want to tip their hand I think too far as like it's something happens, it's transformation. So in the description of the game, you're not going to get kind of the full sense of how it goes. But I thought the content warnings and things gave you a good sense of how badly things could go. But and if you just want to see what they're even up to, they did hire musicians to write these tracks. So they have the full soundtrack is available on YouTube, so you can get to that from their Kickstarter page. As well, I think you can listen to the cursed track and see what happens to you in your own personal hell.
Wonder what happens when you listen to that cursed track, right?
Yes. So as of the time of this article, they still needed to raise about $1,500 from their $8,000 goal, but they may be there by now. I didn't check as of this recording, but really fun, nice presentation. The artwork is very fun and in an indie kind of rough sense, and they I think it's a really interesting, weird, niche topic, and people kind of toiling during the night shift at a in shitty jobs in the Midwest is right up my alley. I really feel a connection to what they're trying to do. So fun stuff.
I'm curious how they've linked kind of like the soundtrack to the gameplay, because I've thought about that before, right? Like, is it something like, are you supposed to put it on shuffle and then like something happens when the cursed track comes up, or are you supposed to are the prompts related to the music you're currently listening to, right?
When you hear the tone.
One of the things about like journaling games is, I mean, it's not necessary to have replayability, because it's not necessary for games to have that, but 3 listeners, I imagine you pick which listener you are at the start of the game, meaning there is replayability here,
right?
And like if things shuffle, or like I keep repeating myself, I'm curious to see how they've connected these things. And
it's great to take advantage of platforms like YouTube, where you can put something up there, for free, and people have access to it. And it's you don't have to deliver digital files or anything. It's just like just bring up YouTube.
I think this isn't the first time I've seen that. I'm sure other people have done it, but the one that's popping into my head now is people have put stuff on Bandcamp. I think Chris Bissett, who wrote The Wretched, there is a Wretched soundtrack up on Bandcamp.
Yeah, I think that's a good that's a good idea to take advantage of these platforms, because we don't know how long this is going to last. I mean, there could be a really horrible kind of lockdown on platforms where people are just allowed to post whatever they want, and use them in different ways. There may be very specific ways that people have to do things in the future. But some bad news. Moving on to the unpredictability of the digital world, the promising virtual tabletop, one more Multiverse, which we talked about when it was first in beta about 4 years ago. Jeez, right. We've been doing it this for that long.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Wow. So with a home to the Blades in the Dark and Yabiza's B&B, the wonderful pixel art aesthetic that they had is shutting down. So users have 90 days to keep playing or save their creations, because they had a character creator where you're actually making pixel art characters.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so it had a very heavy kind of video game aesthetic, and you're even using the the ASD keys to WASD to move the character around and stuff. And the one thing that made me think is, there's gonna be a lot of people fucking around, while you're running the session, when it's not someone's turn. They're like, they're running over here, they're running over there, yeah. But a really really nice interface. I contemplated using it for the Malagast, yeah, but it was like building all of those things in that character was going to take forever. So just use the art that was given to us by the creator. was much easier to do. So it was a pixel art, sprite-based, flexible, user-friendly, interfaced VTT. Yeah, 4 years ago it was in beta in 2021, and the sad thing is, the full release was last summer. It's very polished. I mean, definitely on par with anything. And I think even when you're looking at like Roll20 and stuff before their redo, it was much more polished. The interface and everything was a much nicer experience. They had the entire Duskval, world and all the players and everything built out in pixel art. 4 Blades in the Dark. I didn't ever check out Yabiza's, but I've heard good things about it, and also it was capable of supporting 5e and your homebrew systems as well. So a quote, virtual tabletops are currently quite literal and focus on replicating an in-person experience. This was the co-founder, Sarah Alfagi of One More Multiverse. So we wanted to preserve what's unique about tabletops, but take advantage of the possibilities that could only exist in a browser. So what they ran into is they couldn't balance their ambitions with sustainability. So their business model just didn't work, because you could play for free. I mean, you bought the content, and most of the people weren't paying into anything, so they were unable to support themselves as a long-term free-to-play app, which is frustrating. I think, I mean, if this is already all this work that already went into this, they should sell this as something that you can run on a local server or something. Just sell it as a package, and just to try to. But as we hear soon, that may not even be an option. So we spent the past year working very hard to develop a new path forward. But after careful consideration, it's become clear that it's not enough to support the OMM platform, and for that we are sorry. So they had about 500,000 people that used this platform. That's heartbreaking. And so what they're saying is that all of the custom characters, NPCs, everything, you got 90 days from March 13th, so from a few days ago. So basically you can play until about August 11th. And their official announcement, that's the other thing. So not only did they just recently do their full release, they just did the official release date for Yabiza's as well. That just a few days ago said, now this is available and we're shutting down. So the OMM was an amazing project with a wonderful team. They recreated Blades and Duskfall. This is the creator of Yabiza's, with so much love and artistry. It's so sad to see them go. Oh, that was that was John Harper. That was the Blades in the Dark creator, John Harper. On X. Talking about how sad, because that was a great version of that game. So the studio confirmed that they will also be shuttering as a whole. So there's not going to be anyone to even repackage all of this work that they did. They're going to work hard to provide severance, extensions to healthcare, and support with job hunting for all of their employees. But it's really sad to see such a good alternative and such a creative approach to VTTs just gone, just disappear. But and this was also bad timing, because if they could have hung in a little bit longer and WotC really stumbled with their D&D thing, they could have picked up some.
Well, it does say they support. It was possible to do D&D 5e.
Right, yeah. So, and I think that was maybe one of the original things that they were wanting to do with it, but got maybe very enamored with Blades in the Dark. So, Team Multiverse wrote in their press release announcing the shutdown. All tales come to an end, including ours. It pains us to inform you that one more multiverse is closing on, as a whole, is closing down. Simply put, it isn't sustainable to run. We're proud of what our team has built and the players we've helped while bringing our ambitious dreams to life. We spent the past year working hard to develop a new path forward, but after careful consideration, it's become clear there's not enough support, and for that, we are sorry. Yeah, so very sad news. So, and the funny thing with all of this timing, it just got the full release. I was just showing this to my daughter and saying, "Do you want to try Blades in the Dark?" And she's like, "Yeah, that looks great."
Oh,
like,
man. Still haven't gotten that to the table.
Yes. So so that was going to be our next the next kind of family game, was trying out one more multiverse, because just my little bit of playing around with the interface, building characters, like, this is really great, this is really well done, really fun, and now it is no more. So just like, I think that's the problem though, once you go too far into digital development and kind of video game style, is that stuff just disappears. Like, people work for years on games and do all these assets, develop all these assets and animations and coding, and it's just like, oh yeah, we're not releasing this, and delete. Gone. Yeah, because there's nobody there to own it anymore. So too bad. So RIP OMM, and hope some people really had some fun with that, and I hope these creators, this kind of ambitious thinking, goes somewhere else. Like they end up finding a home where they can do something like this again, because VTTs really need that. They need to get away from the very simple, tokens on a grid thinking that a lot of solutions have. Yikes. But exciting news for you specifically, I think. So you've been waiting for these new revised D&D books.
Have I?
No, I don't know. Have you? I assumed. I just assumed. So D&D 2024. How does Greyhawk fit into this new edition? Well, we have some news. Would you like to be surprised? So
sure, hit me.
They're including in this 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide a sample setting to show you, how to do things outside of the Forgotten Realms. And the sample setting they're using is the City of Greyhawk. So they're going to include a double-sided map with the City of Greyhawk and Flanaess on the other side, the eastern part of the Orth's 4 continents. So this is just kind of a tease, and I think it's just playing to, because they also statted out the Saturday morning cartoon characters in 5e. It's like, how do you even do that? How do you do G-rated weapons? None of them had effective weapons or spells. How do you even play those characters? They don't even, if you play them true to the show, they're completely useless, and they just blunder around, and you've got a fighter with only a shield and light arrows coming off your bow. You're not doing anything to anyone.
No, you're not.
So they're digging deep into this nostalgia, I guess, for the 50th. They're trying to, bait people back. This map, though, in the comments below this post, this map does seem to make people go, oh, I want that map so bad. So people will probably buy this book just for a newly designed map of Greyhawk.
Okay. Kind of like we talked about at the beginning, right? Just like GW, D&D has its whales.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it's like, oh, yeah, I want that. And I'm not saying I'm immune to this kind of thing, right? But it's like, yeah, I want that because of the nostalgia it evokes in me. And I'm just like, I don't have any attachment to this, right? I don't care, right? I wonder, I would like to know what percentage of D&D players care about Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, and all this stuff. Yeah. Or, and I'm not saying this like the one true Scotsman kind of argument, right? Because collecting the books is a way to participate with the hobby. But I have to wonder what percentage of people who want this book because of the things that are in it are collectors who like Greyhawk and Forgotten Realms and all this stuff versus players who want to play in this, right? And I'm sure there's some overlap there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an odd thing that they're doing. They're just kind of baiting, and I think because I remember it was Slaying the Dragon, the history of kind of the end or the transition of TSR into Wizards of the Coast, the sale. They talked about the big mistake TSR made at the end is they splintered the player base so severe, the group, the player groups, because they were releasing too many settings in nice box sets, and people are like, okay, can you do a release for our setting? We're playing this. We don't want to change settings. We've got this long-standing campaign going. We're playing in this setting. Support that. And they couldn't. They just kept, adding new Dark Sun, and they just kept adding new things. People were like, well, that's nice, but then they just splintered the sales of these, pretty expensive to produce box sets. So I think the current management doesn't want to do that. I mean, I think they're being very shy and very careful about, okay, here's one book and that's all we're going to do. Here's your Dragonlance. Go away.
But then I think, not that it's another problem, but then I guess the flip side of that is flattening everything to where there's no distinct kind of settings, right? Or just everything is set in Forgotten Realms because we don't want to splinter the fan base, right? And then things don't... I don't know.
Yeah, and it was interesting too because people were saying, well, with the popularity and Baldur's Gate 3 bringing in people and being interested in the Forgotten Realms setting, why are you even talking about Greyhawk? Like that's a distraction. But Greyhawk hasn't had any attention for a couple of decades now, like any serious official releases.
Is that a problem?
Yeah. So this is interesting. So it perked up, people's interest in what they possibly could be doing. And we got a quote from Chris Perkins. A big draw to Greyhawk is it's the origin place for such heroes as Mordekainen, Tasha, and others. This is the idea that the players in your campaign can be that's the next great world hopping spellcrafting heroes in D&D. So it's the campaign where heroes are born.
Except they never get there.
Right. Yeah. So
show me in the rules where there's a way for a character to have a spell named after them.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll wait.
Yes, it's an odd move, but they are really leaning into because the way that they've been talking in this recent revised version releases, it's always been a multiverse. It's always been this crazy, universe jumping alternative, just jumping. That's all we're gonna do. So that they're leaning heavily, especially with this latest Vecna thing that they're releasing. They just want you to jump through all the famous, like a tour, a whirlwind tour of all of the.
No, I mean, let's be honest. That's what Planescape was, right?
Yeah,
and I like Planescape because it was interesting, and it was interesting because it connected kind of everything.
Right. Yes. So Greyhawk, the 1980 setting. So the World of Greyhawk setting book was first released then, and basically it was phased out in favor of Dragonlance in the early 80s. So it hasn't gotten proper attention, but you can take a look. You can get a look at this at this map, I guess, and a little bit of explanation. They go into a little bit of the lore. It's an example. This is an alternative setting, and here we'll flesh it out. And look how different it is. So November 12th of this year, you get your greasy little hands on the Dungeon Master's Guide Revised Edition. All right, and the last thing, this was confusing, and they didn't do anything in the FAQ to really clarify this at all, and it worries me.
Okay.
It worries me a little bit because Monolith has recently acquired, we know, the rights for the Conan RPG from Modiphius.
Yep.
So we're looking at a campaign for the Savage World of Solomon Kane. So you can dive in deep to the world of Solomon Kane with this revised version of the RPG based on, of course, the incredible works of Robert E. Howard and also powered by Savage Worlds.
I've lost interest.
Yes. So Mythic Games,
completely. Okay.
Mythic Games, of course, produced this very lavish, very interesting, because it used the virtues. Like you didn't directly control the characters, you controlled the virtues, and you're like, do this, Solomon. No, how about this way, Solomon?
It was an interesting way for a story that has like a single protagonist to allow multiple players to kind of compete to operate this single protagonist.
Yes.
Okay.
So they produced a ton of plastic for that. That's Mythic Games. And of course, we know Mythic Games has had quite a fall from grace. These are both companies based in France. They're having trouble producing stuff, and I think they're handing stuff off. So it looks like the molds and a lot of the artwork got handed off to Monolith. They perhaps purchased this. Nothing has been made clear. And Monolith has been a little confusing recently because I think one of their last big crowdfunders, they supported Conan and things, but they had that bizarre Beyond the Monolith thing where they're trying to make this universal system for all of their board games, and then you would just plug in the different settings. And it's like, what are you doing? And they canceled that that campaign because it was so confusing, and people are like, I already own what am I buying?
Right.
What is this? So they've been a little odd with how they've been approaching things. But Solomon Kane, a landless man, a wanderer, a Puritan, and of course,
asshole.
And of course they hit you. Yeah, they hit you with the big caution if you proceed. So they have a warning even on the Kickstarter page. Solomon Kane's world is one of dark peril and moral ambiguity, where boundaries between heroism and barbarism blur. The stories reflect the time and context in which they were written, often containing portrayals that may not align with modern sensibilities. This is what the Warner Brothers cartoon disclaimer regarding race, gender, or ethnicity.
Yep.
He is a white Puritan bringing white puritanical thinking to the world.
Yes, he is.
So yeah, the emphasis is he's a hero. He's battling evil. Wouldn't you like to be a hero too? So you can walk the path of Kane by playing a Puritan wanderer, a misguided pirate, or a soldier of fortune. So they have kind of character classes to support this world and what they have miniatures for, I guess. Ancient evil so great it could destroy the world. So you must carry the torch into darkness. So and another bit of a blurb from the Kickstarter page. Solomon Kane is a wanderer, a lean wolf stalking across the known world of the 17th century, ravenous for revenge. Agents of evil on any continent or sea shall learn his name. Wherever the innocent suffer, wherever devils dance and fiends scheme, Solomon Kane's sword will feast. Gotta love that Howard style prose. But anyhow, they're trying to highlight the themes of good versus evil, light versus darkness, and it is basically a grim dark, like a grim 17th century Europe setting. But it is going to be powered by suede. And
SUADE, the leather.
The leather that you don't want to get in the rain, that get wet in the rain. Yes, it's all suede. So for simplicity and ease of handling. So this already exists. Like this, I'm not sure the publication date, but not the new version, the suede version.
Right.
The previous version of Savage Worlds had a Solomon Kane setting. There's still available a PDF conversion for the newer setting. So that book still exists out there, and it may be cheaper than what they're asking for this new one. So what they're emphasizing on this campaign is also not good. We're never going to offer this through retail. There's 3 ways to get it. This campaign, through the pledge manager, late pledge, or from our web store with whatever we have left over. But the best price is now on the Kickstarter.
Right.
But take a look at these shipping prices. So for a $60 book, about $50 shipping. So okay. How about a PDF? So of course they're emphasizing to show that they're not mythic. Monolith will get things done. They're saying everything is nearly finished because I think all the assets were purchased. They're not producing.
I don't know.
Not producing much of anything, but they haven't been clear about that because it's a very lavishly illustrated rule book. But there's so much artwork that was produced. They even did an art book for the board game.
Right. Okay.
That they're probably just going to be reusing that. So the delivery date for this project is 2025 January. So they even made a statement: we are no longer going to try to ship things by the end of the year because it's turned out that is where the prices go insane and kind of campaigns get destroyed because cargo rates go up so dramatically. We're not going to try to get things in before Chinese New Year. We'll try January, which is still before Chinese New Year. But anyhow, none of the prices for shipping and delivery, even in the UK, there was a delivered duty paid, which I guess is eliminates VAT for some people, but that's still €6. So who knows? So 35 millimeter scale. You're getting a GM screen. This is going to be a pretty hefty book, like a 350 page book. It's going to be a monster. They're including a slipcase as well with some really gorgeous art on it. But this is something that they're not being very clear about how does this differ from the source book that was originally published.
Artwork?
Yeah, the artwork is different. The layout looks different. But is this something that does already? So the way that they're presenting this is you can buy this book. You can get the PDF, or you can buy the book and a box of miniatures, and also tokens and bennies and things that you would use for Savage World. But they're not being very clear about what this is, and the only thing in the FAQ was, what are these miniatures? And basically, they're just a selection of the board game miniatures to fit the RPG. So it's if you have the board game and its expansions, you have the miniatures.
Yeah, you don't need
the exact same sculpts, so the exact same everything. They just did a kind of a greatest hits that they thought would be useful for what they wrote, maybe the supporting adventures that they wrote for this book. So that's fine, but it's still very confusing because I'm sure there are people that own everything that are going to buy this and be like, So, and they're even they're kind of incentivizing that by saying, yeah, inside there are tokens and, very useful things for the game, but you got to buy all the miniatures that you already have.
Well, of course they're going to say that, right?
Yeah.
Like the more people buy from a company, the better the company does, right? So of course they're going to be like, oh, you really want all this stuff, extra stuff here too. We know you've already got half of it, but look at the other half you get.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, so it's an odd approach, and it doesn't make me feel very confident about what they're doing because it's
okay. My feelings on Savage World aside, this I guess a charitable way to look at this is, yes, they've bought these assets, these molds, this stock of material. How do we get rid of this?
Yeah.
Here's the way to do it.
Right.
So, I mean, it might not be anything, malicious or wrong. Just like, let's package this all up together to make it more appealing for people to buy rather than trying to get rid of it piecemeal.
Right. And it was, they did have to negotiate some deals, to get the mythic stuff and to get, the rights to republish this or whatever they're doing, revise this. And the problem that I saw was Savage. So I was looking at Savage Pathfinder. I think we talked about when that was kickstarted, and Matt was saying from the actual play group that he's been hearing a lot of good things, and I really want to run the original campaign path, the adventure path, the Rise of the Rune Lords.
Okay. Yep.
But that's only available in first edition Pathfinder. I don't want to run first edition Pathfinder, so I was like Savage Worlds, because I know they also did a Savage Worlds adaptation for Mutant Chronicles. If you don't want to play 2D20. Okay. So it's like thinking about it, and it does seem to get out of the system, gets enough out of the way that we could really focus on the story of that adventure path, and that pleases me. That seems like something I want to do. But
I hate the way that gets phrased. If the mechanics ain't affecting the narrative in any meaningful way, why are you using that system, right?
Right.
And I understand people use the term the narrative or the mechanics get out of the way to mean one interpretation is these are simple enough where we can internalize them relatively quickly and we don't have to keep referring to the book.
Oh, right.
That is one interpretation of it, right? The other interpretation of is these have no effect on the narrative, right? They just get out of the way. Then why in the are you using that particular system?
Well, I see it more as you don't have 4-hour combats. Yep. That's the only thing that I would really like to solve with a lot of these older systems. But so but the problem reading through Savage Worlds, the problem that I had is they seem to have named everything for Deadlands from the Wild West setting. Pinnacle seemed to name it. Yep. So you have edges and bennies and stuff that are
Razes.
so break. So that are they break any immersion into anything but a Wild West, weird Wild West setting.
Okay, I didn't know this, but when I found out that Savage Worlds was based on the original Deadlands, all those terms, I'm like, I get it. I understand why you use poker cards. I understand why you have aces and raises and all this stuff. Yeah. And like, cool, that would have worked so great for Deadlands. And okay, I understand not wanting to change them. Meaningless in kind of any other context.
Yeah, right? it just feels weird, and it seems like things need to be renamed. So you need to like have a little guide. Oh, in this setting, these are this, and this is that. You have to translate all of your terms. And so I think they alluded to doing that for Solomon Kane, is that they've changed the system to match more what they're trying to do. And hopefully, I mean, if it gets across a pulp, because that's what the 2D20 system is trying to do is get as pulpy as possible.
Yep.
So if that's what they're doing with this, it seems like a move.
Is a flavor of pulp.
Yes, but unfortunately, this made me really worried. Are they just going to do this with Conan? I mean, they say they're doing a rules light system for Conan when they release it. Are they just going to do? Well,
maybe
it's so much cheaper to just.
It is.
Just make this a Savage World. The Savage Worlds of Savage Conan.
Yep. The Savage Worlds of Conan. Yeah.
Right. Yes, the reasonably tempered barbarian. Yeah, so it's going to be strange to. This makes me lose a little hope. It makes me worry. I hope they handle Conan well and are not just trying to do a cheap release, because they could do the same thing. A box of miniatures from their board games and another Savage Worlds. Like I don't know. It made me a little bit concerned about what kind of thinking Monolith has. I had a lot of. I felt good about them getting the license because they did a really nice job with the board game. Right. But I hope they handle the RPG a little bit better than this. Just kind of a repurposing of stuff.
I guess I can't really blame them.
Yeah, and maybe they're just kind of feeling out because Solomon Kane is nothing in popularity compared to Conan. So they just are maybe testing the waters and seeing like if people are going to bite on this box of miniatures thing because they're offering it in 2 pledges. So just the book is €59. I think the box is like €149, €159 for everything.
It's a bit dear.
Yes, it's quite expensive because it is just a box. I think it's about 100 miniatures like they do. Every box is like 100 miniatures, but it's the same stuff.
Unless they're 2mm or 6mm. I don't need 100 miniatures.
Right. And it's that same damn snake again. If you've seen that fucking snake in all the Mystic games, it's Mythic games. It's back again, that damn snake. All right. So that's going to do it for this week. So where can people find you?
On social media. That's Hyvemind, HYVEMYND. Mostly Blue Sky and Instagram. But yeah, that's it. More 6mm miniature madness. Yep.
All right.
How about you?
Nice. So check out Abuse Cartoons on YouTube and Twitch. And if you want to read my single panel gag cartoon, go to gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And if you want to support what we're doing here on the weekly, consider becoming a weekling.
The strongest of all supporters.
Yes, at patreon.com/upturntable. If you pledge at that tier, it lets us know what that you're interested in what we're doing here every Thursday evening, Friday, whatever time it happens. Circle, man. Yes, and suggest some topics you'd like to see, some things you'd like us to focus on more. We've kind of over the years evolved things, so just let us know if it's headed in the right direction or we're off the track. And visit upturntable.com for everything that we're doing. Upturntable on YouTube, Twitch, and all social media, and Dune tomorrow. Yeah, nice. So subscribe to this same channel to get notified when we go live, and that's the same thing on Twitch. And yeah, that will do it for this week. So see you next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. Ooh, give me a second here. All right. Well, I hope Instagram has enjoyed reading your chat messages while hearing some strange discussion going on over top of it. I have no idea how we're going to... I think I have to switch software that I'm using for streaming to be able to send both a vertical and a horizontal, the different orientation to different platforms. Currently, I cannot do that. So maybe Instagram is not a platform for us. So how is everyone doing? Hey, Miguel. Nice. Very nice. But yeah, good to see everybody in the chat. Yeah, so sorry, a little bit of a false start because I was trying to get Instagram to work and it just doesn't. I think that's a real pain to generate a key and have to enter it before you stream every time. I mean, I guess they want you to stream specifically to that platform. But Matt doesn't like the 30-second short streams I was trying to pull off there. Yeah, Matt says, I know YouTube wants more short format stuff, but jeez. Hey, 30 seconds is all we can do. Nice. Yeah, good to see everybody. Carolina and Dude. Very good. But let's see. How are people doing? Yeah, Anorcus too. Good to see you. Yes, definitely slow news week. Is it? Yeah, it was. And we didn't even get to. I kind of cut the former WotC CEO made the big move to Funko, an incredibly sinking ship. The first when I first heard that, I'm like, oh, that's right. Funko is doing board games, so maybe she, thinks she has some expertise now, but they sold that. They sold their board game division. So yeah, Funko just makes those dead-eyed weird things. And her statement was funny. That would have been the only thing worth reading. Is she's like, with my expertise and the success of 5e during my short tenure, I know what, or I guess Magic and Dungeons and Dragons. I know what the young people want. It's like, do ya? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I haven't been following any of the horrible controversy. I've kind of stayed off of the channels that have become just WotC bashing and everything. But yeah, it's nice and fun. But yeah, I thought that Greyhawk news was really odd. It's just like they're trying to throw a little bit of everything in there to get everybody looking. Yeah, I gotta watch my cursing. I forget YouTube's rules that they're still working. But yeah, what else is going on? Okay, I wrote that comment. Okay, I'll admit it now. I couldn't help it. I was feeling so lost and uninspired. I wrote myself a good comment on my sock accounts. It's really nice though with AI that you just say something nice about me and it'll just spit out. No, I appreciate that. Oh, Orcus is saying now you all can run Pendragon when it comes out without any more quoting from Monty Python. Nice. Yeah, Matt says, yeah. No, Orcus, I cannot. My generation is required to quote Python a minimum of 3 times a day. 6 if you're playing a medieval RPG. Yeah, that is going to be... That was the thing that I... when they did the official... When Exalted Funeral or whoever did that official Python RPG, I was like, wow, that's just going to be nonstop. Like, are you going to actually ever play a game? Or is it just people waiting for their chance to quote the Spanish Inquisition? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Banana Chan was one of the designers of Blood in the Banquet Hall. Yeah, she seems like she's worked on some cool stuff. Yeah, it was a fun journaling. I haven't played many journaling games. I think maybe only like 2 ever, and one was just card based. So you just it's more free form. There wasn't like a printed journal with structure to it. It was just all based on random card draw. But yeah, it's a interesting thing. You really have to trust the person for journaling games. If they're doing something where you're answering prompts and things, you have to trust the kind of storytelling and the creative abilities of the creator. So yeah, I'm curious to see what it looks like, and it might be a fun thing to, especially if the soundtrack isn't under Content ID, it might be a fun thing to live stream to go through the whole thing, because going into it completely blind might be fun to see how it reveals. But I think also on the Kickstarter page they had playthroughs. They had people that were doing playthroughs, so it's been done. Not the Notebook. Yes. Oh, Matt said, tried journaling games during the pandemic, never finished it. Yeah, I played The Beast. Well, I think was the one that I remember most clearly. That was very cool. It's very kinky, very interesting, but it's kind of like creating this like ultimate partner kind of thing. It's very interesting, the approach, and just prompts on cards I think worked well. So yeah, I'm not sure the going through like a pre-written journal with questions, but I like the theme of a DJ, a late night DJ losing it. And kind of the Star Trek solo, the Captain's Log that Modiphius did. That's a little bit of a journaling game as well, because I think you really are doing a captain's log, like keeping track of everything that's going. So that kind of steps a little bit more into that territory, because even though it's a solo game, you're kind of like building this narrative that you'll just have to record manually. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, Miguel, good to see you. All right. Very sleepy. Nice. Yes. Forgotten Realms. Yeah, that was. It's interesting. The what they're doing. The little nods they're giving to settings, and how heavy Tasha's hideous laughter. Yes, Caroline. Yes, you get a spell named after you. One reason about Planescape back in the day was the Dieter Lizzie. Oh yeah. Was the artwork, right? Nice. Yeah, Matt saying I want a Conan game to be unique, not Savage Worlds. Yeah, I really hope that they're more careful with that. And I think this whole project really feels like it just, this exists, and if we can get the rights to this from Pinnacle and they let us rewrite it, we have all these miniatures that we can buy from Mythic. It just sounded like they stuck a bunch of stuff together, and it might be a nice production. Like the actual book itself might have nice production values, but yeah, I don't know. It felt like a real, like, yeah, slapping stuff together instead of actually coming up with something very unique, just kind of repurposing. Oh, Miguel said almost bought a Planescape box while in Spain. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's frustrating. I think it's mostly stuff from the UK. Some of the groups that I follow, like people will put their charity shop or car boot sale like finds, and you don't know if they're being honest, but there's some amazing stuff still like floating around in the UK that people are just happening across for a few quid. Miguel said I was surprised, and not in a good way, by the prices on the official D&D campaigns. Yeah, it's interesting. So, Matt owns the Suede, the old Suede Solomon Kane book. It's nice, but that system isn't great for long campaigns. Nice. Oh, yeah, that's right. And reading the Outgunned Adventures rules, and that 100% would be better for Conan or Solomon Kane. Yeah, so Matt was talking about, so they're going to do a campaign, a new supplement to do kind of the pulp, Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider, the Mummy style adventure for Outgunned. And check out the Outgunned unboxing. It's a long one. It's like 90 minutes, but I go through all of the books, and I think I saw them promoting a second volume of their flicks, what do they call them? Action flicks. Their Action Flicks volume. So they're going to do another set of, just kind of basic slightly rejiggering of the like the character sheet and the rules to fit in like lightsabers or ghost busting or whatever like they did in the original one. So they're going to do a little bit more of that, and that might be something that you can really make out of control, because you could basically let each character choose the movie that they're from and see how those bash together in some kind of nonsense adventure. But yeah, Outgun looks fun. I like the mechanics. I think they will be a fun, because it's pushing like in Year Zero, but it's really pushing, like encouraging you, push your luck. No, really push your luck, and you can go all in on a final push. And as long as you're doing better than the last roll, you get it. So it's it looks like a fun system, and there's coins to throw around the table and stuff, so it should be fun. And they're doing I think part of the campaign was an alchemy module, so it will be built on alchemy, so it'll look real nice. So you can see all that gorgeous illustration work that was done for the Outgun settings on the in the alchemy VTT. Nice. Oh yeah, Carolina. Yeah, that's a good point. I wish they would, if they're going to do that Solomon Kane thing, kind of break out the stuff that you don't have. If you own the board game, the stuff that you don't have that would be useful to run it, Savage Worlds. Savage Solomon Kane. They might do that if they have enough people. But Matt, answer the question. Greed. Yeah, it's just they want you to buy this plastic again. New players, Carolina says, new players will buy full, and experienced ones will appreciate not being gouged. Yeah, no, I think that's breaking that out would be great. And I think a lot of people they're going to get a much smaller response if they're not going to, I don't think they're going to sell many of those boxes of miniatures, because for 150, if it's like 159 euros, you can probably get a lot of the Solomon Kane stuff drifting around on eBay and some of the auction sites. So you get your hands on that plastic if you really want it, probably for cheaper than what they're offering. Yeah, and then just I forget where they were, but somebody said 59 euros and 50 euro shipping. No thanks. So they're not making it very tempting. Matt says Chris should write a blog called A Life in 6mm. Yes. Yeah, so we'll just be able to take all those posts and combine them. They'll be published, I'm sure, soon. You remember when the days when they were printing tweets, like they were like books were just a series of tweets? I wonder if that's still happening. We'll definitely have to put missing posters for Abyss. And what if the schedule? I think Abyss was complaining some of the times about the time difference for when we're doing the weekly, so maybe it just became too much. Something got a little bit too too far into the either the early morning or late night. Yes. So 59 euros. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, compared to a shitty supplement or an army list for the old world, 59 euros is quite reasonable with the crap. And I love the fact that GW made that switch to printing all their books in China, so they're garbage and they're making a huge profit on them, and the prices just kept going up and up and up. And now they're crappy Chinese books that I think they still put the Union Jack on, conceived of in the UK, but no longer printed. Yeah, they made that kind of sneaky switch. They first started with their terrain for some of those sets, that early replacement for Necromunda kind of stuff that they were doing. The terrain started getting all injected, molded in China, and now who knows how much of it is even still done in the UK. I'm not saying, for a core book for an untested RPG, that is pretty steep. Yes, that's right. You don't even know what they did, so they're not being very straightforward about. There really should be in the FAQ. If you have the previous version, how is this going to be different? What did we do? They credit writers and designers and editors and stuff. So it seems like they did some original work, and it's like 350 pages. So it's, I think, probably bigger than what was originally done. But I don't know. Miguel says, now Chris is gone, and I see Nemesis in all its glory. That's right. Chris was concealing Nemesis in all its expansions. Nice. Oh, nice. But Miguel didn't get Planescape, but got $6 worth of BattleTech. Nice. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. So Catalyst, yeah, they really are capitalizing on that, on their crowdfunding success, and really doing like a big presence at Adepticon and stuff. That's interesting. But they're gonna, just like with Games Workshop, they're gonna start running into all the problems, all the social media fights about everything that they do now. Yeah, plus a big Games Workshop Imperial Knight at a 25% off. Wow, and didn't pay VAT. Nice. Oh man, Miguel has got a haul. Oh, talking about the old world. Oh, it's going up 10% in price. Yeah, it wasn't expensive enough, and I hate that now that Old World is out, like people are hoarding all of the old bits and stuff, because it's ridiculous, or the old models, because they're re-releasing them at a ridiculous price. They're recasting and re-releasing those kits, and the people that have the old ones are like clinging dearly to them. So yeah, that's right. They just announced their price increases. Got to stay ahead. The thing is, the way that if they are, and I'm sure they do have people doing this, taking a look at what's going on in the secondary markets, how things are being passed around and how things are being valued on auction sites and resale and whatever. And they know now, especially with scalping for limited boxes and stuff, they know how high those prices could go. They could still double their prices and probably not completely eliminate their customer base. That's insane. Yeah, right. The old world stuff. Yeah, mostly 20-year-old plastic reboxed with all the, kind of wonky looking poses and stuff. And I'm sure early Games Workshop plastic kits, especially elaborate stuff, it was not done, in this, whatever the slick CAD systems that they're using now. So it doesn't fit great. And you're like, breaking stuff and twisting stuff and heating stuff just to get it to, conform in some of those big boxes. Yeah, some people, like early kits, like kits that are more than 20 years old, all you hear is people saying this was such a pain in the ass to put together, but it's done. Yes. Now those boxes are going up in price again in in 1 month's time. Yes, of course. Yeah, that's ridiculous. If you just would have, and that's just, I almost bought a right after they killed the old world and launched Age of Sigmar, someone was selling a pretty impressive Tomb Kings army online. They were just bailing on it, and they wouldn't ship it to Japan, but I almost bought an old Tomb Kings army, which it would have been so cool to have right now. But yeah, they were letting it go for nothing just because they were giving up on the whole thing. But yeah, I live in the most inconvenient part of the world. Yeah. Yeah, the newer stuff is it's pretty impressive, like how well engineered it is, because they'll hide mold lines and stuff in like folds of fabric and stuff. They do an interesting job of engineering some of the newer models. But yeah, anything more than the last 5 or 7 years is not great. But it was also made to be a little bit more modular and not monopose, more customizable and configurable. So it was intentionally a little wonky, and things didn't always match because they had a couple of different options for arms or heads or whatever. So Miguel is saying a friend counted 11 steps to build one of the new arbiters, and one arbiter out of 60 he has to build. Nice. That's a lot of steps. Fun. Yeah, so we'll see what's in the store. Yeah, so too bad. I really wanted to give that one more Multiverse a shot to see how it actually ran. I did suspect, though, just playing around with their little tutorial, that when players aren't doing something, they're just like making their little character walk around it. Because you can like basically, you had keys, movement keys, directional keys to move the character, and also like an E E button to like interact with items, so you can just pick up a bunch of stuff and walk around with it and stuff. And so if you're just doing that, not in the game, not narratively, just kind of screwing around and killing time, so I imagine a party of any size using that might have someone that's just like fucking around the whole time, just jumping on beds or running through doors, randomly. But it's a shame all that work just disappears. But that's that's kind of video games. If you stray too far into that kind of development, you've just got to expect it to all disappear. But it would be so nice though if they could somehow package that. If someone would buy everything that they created and then have a something similar to a Foundry where you could just run it locally, run the BTT locally and host games and still let people play with those assets, because they did the whole setting. That's a shame Blades in the Dark no longer has the pixel art setting. But still have 90 days. I'm sure we wouldn't play more than 90 days anyhow, but it's not worth learning. That's the other thing, is now the learning curve is completely, it's like, why would you even bother committing to figuring it out if you've got 3 months before it's deleted? So it's the same thing with Astral. I spent way too much time learning how Astral worked, and then they just nuked it. Yeah, so I wonder what effect with the because Roll20's announcement, it's got a Discord plugin basically, and some of the maneuvering that's going on. I wonder what we're going to be looking at as Wizards releases whatever that is, as there's a D&D experience. Yeah, I don't know. It does seem, because I think they were even talking, or people were speculating, that they're just going to try to push all of their D&D Beyond users into that, and that would give them an instant user base. So we shall see. Yeah. But so Dune tomorrow, a dinner. So I reread the dinner scene from Dune just to get some inspiration for how how people can be interacting and who could show up at the dinner to make it interesting. But maybe a little bit of a ceremony, right? A little bit of a wedding ceremony and a dinner. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it's a funny thing. So we will find some good, because I think the 29th of this month is the next Outgun Adventure campaign. I think it's just on BackerKit. I don't think it's going to be. I think they're just going to run it on BackerKit, and but there is a quick start, and Matt wanted to run it, so I think that would be fun to see how that goes. And if it's working on at least the original game, so the dice and the character sheets and everything are working on alchemy, we should be all set. That could be pretty cool. So keep an eye out for that. So take a little break from Dune. We'll have to see. We'll have to see where they leave things off. Oh, Miguel says, talking of Discord, I heard the Trench Crusade Discord self-destructed. Oh no! Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I was just watching a how to play video on Trench Crusade. That sucks. Yeah. So little war going on the Trench Crusade Discord. That's too bad. I'll have to see what people are saying. Yeah, I think that's shipping now. I think the Trench Crusade minis and stuff are shipping. So we'll those should be showing up soon. Yeah, really great setting, and that's the Mordheim designer, but doing a kind of weird World War I kind of thing. Yeah, because it's trenches, but kind of a strange setting with trench warfare, but really cool miniatures. And the rules, I think, are very old school, but that sucks. Yeah. The Discord fell apart, and not for rules discussion, but culture debate. Great. I was wondering, because I hadn't heard anything. Got a shipping update a while back and hadn't heard anything. Then then they posted a video somebody did running through the rules, but yikes. We'll have to see. Have to see if they survive. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is I wonder if smaller companies and smaller designers, groups of designers and companies doing games that are more susceptible to people kind of sabotaging, to like, either people trolling on their different platforms, or just, trying to characterize the game in a certain way based on, somebody involved they don't like or whatever. I think smaller companies may be more susceptible to that than the bigger companies that, have their PR people, trying to cover their asses and stuff. Not fun. Isn't that always the way? But yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, Twitch is actually doing a little bit better. Maybe the false start, it killed us on Twitch this time, or maybe I'm still looking at the 30-second. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what that was. But it's good to see, and I think it's the actual play that's actually getting people's attention on Twitch, because we're in the correct category on Twitch, which there aren't categories for many things, but there is a tabletop role playing. So if people are looking for that, there we are. Yeah, still haven't figured out a way to whitelist the song we're using, that background music that I'm using for the Dune live stream. But yeah, they're getting quicker at releasing the claim. Crazy. Oh, Abyss, no way. Nice. We're just mentioning you, wondering if the time difference was getting to be too much. Nice. Very good. Good to see you, Abyss. Matt was working on the missing person posters. Have you seen screen name Abyss? Oh, so the Two Little Mice guys said the alchemy module should be up before the 29th. Very cool. Oh, that would be great. That would be great. Yeah. I hope that's. I hope that is a thing. Now I'm regretting they did that Plague game that I didn't back after seeing, because Outgun hadn't shipped yet. I trusted their the quality of their their production household was really well done. I assumed Outgun would be nice, and then I forget what the name of it was, but I was like, it had a Game Master screen that wrapped around a little slip case of their books, and it looked really, really well done. But the game itself, it's set during the Plague, and it was basically you're playing drifters, and your kind of motive is dreams. I was like, okay, that's that didn't get grab me as much as Memento Mori. Yeah, the an RPG of dreams and corruption. Yeah, so you're a plague victim, basically, like wandering. Yeah, the Black Death in Europe was the setting. But they did kind of a tarot. They did tarot cards and really nice box set. But it's going to be on BackerKit, so it'll still be available on the Pledge Manager. But yeah, their stuff is really nice. They work with great illustrators, and their production quality is really good. Yeah, it was a shame. I saw they did Household for 5e, and they did new artwork. And it looks good, like the books that they produced for 5e. I'm never going to play that in 5e. But yeah, they did some really nice looking books for that. Yeah, so I hope they do well. They I think Broken Compass they did in collaboration with Kaman. I think they were going to be like Kaman's RPG studio, but yeah, the relationship ended. But they're doing well on their own. I like that they're but that was the complaint during the unboxing too. My complaint was, haven't gotten the game to the table yet, and already like more supplements are coming out. It's like, I wish I had some time to play, and then, wow, we really like this. Oh, and there's a new setting. But yeah, stuff is coming out just as, it's fulfilled. The previous stuff is fulfilled. But that can't be easy, though, because the economics of it and then how players like consume stuff probably never align particularly well. So you're always running into that. And I think board games especially, if there's any sort of delay, they're like, well, we have a supplement. Our next campaign is a supplement for the game that hasn't shipped yet. What do you do? Yeah, and unfortunately, now that there's so many platforms, GameFound and BackerKit and Kickstarter, that might become more of a thing. But now with what the pledge managers are doing is allowing late pledges, very far after the end of a campaign. It gives you more time to have played something and still be able to back it for that price, because that's basically you usually save so much on the shipping, and it's usually a little bit better price in most cases, not always. Matt says, if Adventure's too pricey, I'll grab the genre expansion volume 2. Oh, and we can do shares. Oh, nice. Yeah, and definitely we'll share the with the group, share the core rules and stuff, so we can have a nice session. Yeah, and it's pretty straightforward. I think there's going to be, each genre has its own flavoring, like each movie genre flavors things a little bit differently, so the weapons or the vehicles or whatever go different ways. But we'll see. They were pretty reasonable. That really was it 3 books and all the supplemental stuff wasn't insane. Basically like D&D prices. So nice. Yeah, that would be fun to do. And I think Outgun, the core stuff is floating around, but you won't get those super awesome heavy ass coins to throw at each other. Nice. And that'll be cool in Alchemy too. Coin flips, like they'll have to build a coin flip into the dice roller and stuff. That'll be fun. Oh, Abyss is saying the late pledge stuff still won't fix their platforms still being user unfriendly. GameFound still being the only one with PayPal or bank card. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I think that is the big problem. And maybe each platform has its own, because always you see Kickstarters like giving you the list of banned countries, basically, where they're not going to even consider shipping stuff, and then the ways to pay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Abyss is saying, I think the Gloomhaven people really regret like moving completely to BackerKit. Interesting. Yeah, because if they're only doing credit cards, so that's the thing too. They talk about when they finally charge you, like when they close the campaign and they charge the cards, the amount of stuff that bounces back. So they've got this number that they think they've got, and they're have to pay a percentage of that in fees, and then whatever processing fees and things with the financial institution, and then all of the cards that bounce. Yeah. That's got to be, that's brutal. Carolina is back. Nice. But, the more options, definitely the better. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it won't matter if you get a better percent if you have limited options for billing. If you have limited billing options, it doesn't matter if they're taking 3% instead of 10%. The amount of people you're going to lose that aren't going to be able to pay you is going to be different. Nice. Yeah, so we'll do some Dune tomorrow. So we're going to start a little bit late, so we'll start probably an hour later, still earlier than now. So a few hours from earlier than now tomorrow. But yeah, I can't wait to see how it goes. Oh, this is an interesting thing. So going through, and I don't know why this didn't come up sooner. This is one of those most obvious questions that you would ask. And it's revealed in the new Dune movie and in the books and things, but I don't remember them clarifying this point, but it seems like an obvious question. And the question is, so if Vladimir Harkonnen, the Baron Harkonnen, is Jessica's father, who's Jessica's mother? Never even occurred to me. And then it came up. I was like researching food, researching what do the Harkonnens eat. So who is Lady Jessica's mother? And the answer may surprise you. It didn't even, because I thought maybe it was an inconsequential thing, like it was just some courtesan or some some woman that the Baron that kept. But I was really surprised at the answer and the reason that the Baron is a gluttonous, that Vladimir Harkonnen is a gluttonous mutant, is answered by this as well. Oh, Carolina said, they cover that in the House Harkonnen book. Okay, so it is a Brian Herbert thing then, because I saw it come up in a in questions answered, by comments. It's like, woo, that's weird. Yeah, so that must have been then maybe it's a little bit too much, but the according to according to Brian Herbert and the ghostwriter, yes, beef Swellington. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yes. So in the answer that I saw, so I don't know. I didn't double check this. I didn't look for multiple sources on this, but the what's the her full name? The full name, so you know who I'm talking about. The Reverend Mother that tests that tests Paul with the Gom Jabbar. Why am I not getting her full name here? Gaius, what is her name? So Gaius Helen Mohiam. So this is a Reddit thing. So this may be totally off. Because so in the answer that I read, Jessica's mother is that Reverend Mother that tests Paul, that is her teacher, that is her Reverend Mother. She R-words I think you said this on YouTube. She R-words Vladimir Harkonnen, and then he revenge R-words her, but she gets pregnant with Jessica, and then offers him up to Duke Leto eventually, or negotiates that. But she then, as revenge for the revenge, infects him with some sort of disease that gives him this gluttonous, weird, ravenous appetite, and alters his appearance a bit. So that sounds like an additional, maybe even a comic book thing. I mean, who knows where that came from? But that's if they say that the Bene Gesserit gathered the material, someone went further. Some source goes further and says that it was actually the Reverend Mother of the main Reverend Mother of the book, and the testing of Paul, and so Jessica, that is Jessica's mother. So who knows? But I like the fact that the Baron wasn't always gluttonous. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was another thing. The two Kickstarters, one over an artist conflict, and then a TCG with NFTs. Yeah, that's right. Because Kickstarter was all in with they were gonna let the blockchain do its thing, or they were very pro whatever that, because they knew that there was additional money there. They were gonna get 10% of whatever NFTs you sold to their platform or whatever, but they took down the game that was using them. I think it's still untested or whatever. They're they're still figuring out how that's even gonna work financially for anyone. Yes. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, autocorrect does hate fictional names. It's just nope, no such word. Yeah, so that's pretty. That caught me off guard. I never, didn't think of it. I didn't think it was a consequential character, but yeah, but I guess it was. So I'll double check what's the source of that, because a lot of I like that a lot of the wikis and stuff. I guess it's the purpose of the wiki. They give you the footnotes, so they give you sources for anything they're putting in there. But when people answer questions on Reddit or other forums, they don't cite their sources. Yes, Gaius Helen Mohiam. Yes, so if that is in fact the mother, crazy. But that makes things even more complicated, and it also makes like the way she dies in the books and stuff kind of strange. Yeah, because she has a role and lingers for a few more novels. Matt, thank you, Matt, for getting me the full spelling of the name and everything. Yeah, autocorrect was not going to let it happen. Yeah, NFTs. Abyss is saying, yeah, AFTs and NFTs and blockchains are all the hype behind stonks and people pushing their own bitcoins. Yeah, and I really hated how when we first, like the normies were first hearing about NFTs. They were talking about how this is a way for artists to protect their work digitally and everything, and so we had that, like, you can monetize, you can sell JPEGs, you can sell the official JPEG, so this is going to be so great for artists. And then immediately after that we had the AI art generation thing take off, so we can start selling that as well, giving value to things that are completely valueless. Nice. Yeah, so I wonder how that got fleshed out. Matt said, I always assumed it was a Bene Gesserit. Not sure I like it being the Reverend Mother. Yeah, that's a little much. And it's kind of like that weird, well, this is a named character. This is a famous, this is a famous character, sorry. So let's just make it her. So that sounds like a comic book style decision. I'm going to draw somebody that everybody knows. Oh, Abyss is saying that Square Enix is selling off Tomb Raider and Deus Ex for blockchains. Oh, lovely. Yeah. And I heard they're also giving up their exclusivity. Square Enix wants to just put everything out now because their PlayStation exclusivity didn't, it's killing them now. They've got this back library of stuff that you can only play on PlayStations. Oh, and yeah, one of the Stonks GameStop guys. That was really amazing. When that was happening, and it's just so funny too that they picked GameStop, of all the places, to short their stocks, or everybody to be trying to short their stocks, and then this group of Reddit investors buying it up to fuck over all the investment firms and stuff. Crazy. So many people made so many poor decisions. Yes, Abyss. And the greed is still crazy, and I think there's still, there's not enough by people rich enough but not more money than sense, I think is what they say. People that want to throw their money into things, hearing AI, NFT, Bitcoin, whatever, throwing money at things because they heard. It's just like the comic book speculation rush or whatever. Oh, baseball cards and comic books and Beanie Babies, you make money, those things are worth money. It's like people that really don't have that money to throw around are throwing it at things, and by the time you've heard about it, it's too late. You missed the curve there. All right, dude, have a good night, take it easy. Yes, Carolina says, yeah, the AI real horror story. We don't need to worry about aliens. Humanity will destroy itself through its pride. Yeah, and greed, too. They think they can make money. Matt was saying, get sick of all the stonks guys on Twitter just constantly posting pictures of Hodor and Hole. Oh, that's right. What a moment. That's going to be one of those videos. It probably already is. The internet historian videos. Yeah, he did some good stuff, like the when they had those hackable video screens at conventions and stuff. Yeah, documentation and of like the Habbo Hotel stuff. Yeah, there's some really funny those things that just exist that have only could have been, you know, products of internet culture. Yeah, it's very funny. Nice. Yeah, see you soon, dude. Carolina is given into conspiracy. Nice. Oh yeah, autocorrect. Autocorrect doesn't like anything not in its dictionary. Can you please stop? Check the dictionary first and just write what it tells you. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, somebody was complaining about this stuff. I don't know if Apple's still doing it, but certain things that you typed, Apple auto-corrected to like really odd stuff, and just made you look kind of crazy, and also wouldn't let censored certain profanity and stuff. I don't know if it was in the Apple Chat program or where it was, but like Apple was like auto-correcting profanity and stuff. Come on, that's if they're still doing that, it's insane that people are buying iPhones. What year was that? Yeah, that was like like 2020. Baking bread and playing Forbidden Lands and holding on your GameStop stocks. Uh-oh, the troll had stopped by. Oh, I missed the troll. We're not on Kick anymore, so there shouldn't be any terrible trolls. Nice. Yeah, I gotta find a good group of platforms. There's a couple of places. I don't know. I don't think there's big, because I don't think you can live stream to Threads, but if we're on Facebook, then why can't we? Oh, that's interesting. I should check that on the back end too, if there's a way to set up, because we are streaming to Facebook, and if you can just make that available, because Facebook is Instagram is Threads, if you don't have to do 3 separate things, would be nice. Yeah. Yeah, but good to see everyone. What a nice. Oh, one questionable comment. I see. Very questionable. Was it through something that you had domain over, Matt, or some odd other platform? Nice. Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, it was hard to choose. I gotta always keep it to about 4 topics every week, just for because of Chris's time constraints. But yeah, we lots of little stuff was going on. I see. Oh, Carolina's cooking fried chicken. A big sticky mess. Oh no. Didn't cook through. Nice. Yeah, there's a crazy, amazing amount of styles of fried chicken in Japan, and some shops that are just, kind of like, I guess, KFC or whatever, but some small like chain shops that all they do is fried chicken. They basically don't sell anything else. But there's a lot of fun recipes, and a lot of those come from home recipes, like their mother's, or grandmother's, whatever recipe for fried chicken that becomes chains in Japan sometimes. It's pretty funny. And then if it's backed up by a celebrity or something, then it takes off. Yes, uncooked chicken. Yes, there'll be plenty of uncooked chicken at the banquet tomorrow. Nice. Yeah, I like. There's a fun meat that is a popular staple in the Dune universe that should come up tomorrow. Nice. Yeah, so very good. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, F word gets replaced with duck and duckers. You mother duckers. Oh, it's annoying. Yeah, but yeah, so tune in for our actual play for Dune tomorrow, and yeah, it's great. It's great to know people are enjoying that because oh, something, yeah, a little hiccup there. What happened? Well, this is the third. If I'm live now, this is the third time that this stream has started. Yeah, it looks like there's a hiccup. Hopefully Facebook picked it up. Oh yeah, I'm still there. Yeah, so it stitched it together. I think when you go down for a second, YouTube won't cut you off. So, little hiccup there. Third time to try. Nice. Dune. Yeah, so we'll figure out a schedule for getting a little break in there. But I think Dune, it can be something we go back to easily as well. And what might be fun to do is wherever we're at, kind of the consequences and everything that have happened, we can decide as a group like how many years we want to jump forward, and then where that will put things, how that will shift things around. And then I can kind of come up with, well, this would have happened and this would have happened in that time. So we can kind of jump a decade or so to really shake things up and really create, some different challenges for the players. Calm Star is at it again, says Miguel. Nice. Oh, now you got me craving fried chicken. I don't think there's one of those. Oh no, there is right on the corner. Oh, there's one right on the corner. Did it survive the pandemic? There was one on the corner. Maybe I'll hit them up because they drop it right in the oil. When you order it, it's not like sitting there like KFC. It's not like sitting there under a heat lamp. They literally drop it in the oil as you order it. Yeah, so fast food, there's a lot of places that just, they refuse to be fast food here. They're going to make you wait. Hamburger places and stuff where it's like, we've been waiting like 15, 20 minutes here. But it's good. It's fresh. Yeah, the internet is okay. The building that we're in doesn't have, I'm using kind of a wireless access point that's using the 5G network basically because we had kind of unreliable stuff in the other setup. So yeah, we'll see. Ooh, Carolina barbecue sauce. Ooh, nice. Oh yes, can you verify? Yes, they are. So KFC I think made a push. I don't know if that was in the 80s, but Christmas is kind of like Valentine's Day, or Christmas Eve is kind of like Valentine's Day here. It's a time people often propose, and you're supposed to take your best girl out for an expensive dinner, kind of like a Valentine's thing. So young couples do that. So restaurants are very heavily booked Christmas Eve. And then a family thing, when they started to do like the Christmas party, have a Christmas party at home. Well, what do you serve? Nobody has a big enough oven to roast a chicken or a turkey in Japan. Most people have just small little dual convection microwave oven things here. And so KFC kind of stepped in. And they even do rotisserie or roasted chicken as well. Like they'll do a holiday set. But yeah, but the easiest thing is just a bucket of fried chicken. So, and I think because Christmas parties are kind of casual, they're more casual get-together, so they're not like a family event always. KFC stepped in and they put they have those big fiberglass kernels standing in front of the stores that he's going like this, so you can put like a bucket or something between his hands. But they dress him in a nylon Santa outfit every season to kind of look like KFC and I guess because it is a Western brand. They embraced the Western holiday, and as it became more popular, because I think Christmas wasn't was kind of ignored in just like a romantic holiday thing. There was nothing else behind it. But then it became more of a the kids' holiday. Families would give kids a Christmas present. Usually unwrapped Christmas present. But more recently, there's Santa suits, Santa visits. Some people, they do more European style where a neighbor or someone will dress up, or usually the father dresses up as Santa and wakes the kids up and gives them presents and stuff. So there's a lot of different other kinds of ways to celebrate now, but KFC grabbed onto that. And the thing is, too, now people are getting so lazy with the New Year's holiday. People aren't cooking traditional New Year's food, and if you want to buy like a really nice, like kind of luxury obento, those are very expensive. So KFC is also saying, hey, you just had KFC like, a week ago. Why not have it again for New Year's? So they're doing like meals and stuff to try to get a little bit of that New Year's dollar, because families are getting so lazy with cooking traditional Japanese food for New Year's. So there's Japanese culture minute. But yeah, it's true. Somehow they got fried chicken to be a Christmas thing. So yeah, if you go on YouTube and you just search KFC Christmas Japan, you can see all the commercials, people in the ugly sweaters eating chicken together. But yeah, the Christmas party with friends, Christmas dinner with your betrothed, or just girlfriend. So it is like the closest thing they have to the men have to do the heavy lifting for the holiday here, because the Valentine's Day isn't like the Valentine's Day is reverse, where the women buy chocolate. What a mess. I should do a Krampus thing. That's right. Well, they do already have in early February. They have the Oni holiday. Oh God, it's totally dropping out of my head, the name of it. But yeah, you it's kind of like Halloween here, where you throw dried beans at the Oni, so make bad luck go away. So basically giving candy to kids dressed as monsters that come to your door. It's the same thing. Setsubun, you throw beans at a demon, at an Oni, to make it go away. So yeah, they kind of do a Krampus-y thing just a month later. Crazy. But the interesting thing about KFC here is, like the chains that have survived, they really adapt to the Japanese palate. So there's a lot of spicy Korean style flavors and Asian, like Szechuan and different style flavors of KFC here. So sometimes they get really good. Sometimes there's some really interesting flavors of the KFC, and they do interesting versions. And it's just to kind of, direct it more at the they don't have like the bowls like the KFC sadness bowls like they do in the US. They don't have mashed potatoes or any of that stuff. It's just a lot of different Asian varieties of chicken. Yes, could you imagine, Abyss says, can you imagine it being hit by dried beans was your kryptonite? No. Yeah, that's funny. All right. Well, we'll end with the Japanese culture minute. Yeah. If I do my cartoon stream, there's too much of that. There's plenty of that. But yeah, so come back tomorrow for some Dune, and check that. So we'll of course archive that. And I'm thinking about the best way. It's so frustrating because, and maybe I should, like Chris was saying, like SoundCloud and some of the audio platforms. Some of our longer audio pieces might just like trim the ends off of those and make those available on a nice audio platform, because Patreon is so annoying with their file sizes. So I can't put like a 3 or 4 hour audio piece, like even on the free side of Patreon. They don't support. I'm sure if I paid more or whatever, they'd let me. But with the whatever plan I'm at now, they don't. Like those vampires, if you throw coins on the ground, yes, they have to stop and count them. Those crazy autistic vampires. Yeah, right, that's right. A vampire weakness. All right. Sorry, guys, but fried chicken seems to be on the menu for lunch. But yeah, so everybody take care, and we'll see you again soon, either next week for the weekly or in the world of Dune. Adventures in the Imperium tomorrow. So take care, and see you soon. Goodbye.